Yeah, they're sold. Yeah, they're sold. The 2 round numbers are. Do we go by that clock? Do we go by that one or this one? Because that one's like 2 minutes faster. Yeah, mine says 6:57. All right. Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order. If you would all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Sean, would you please call roll?
Deputy Mayor Baggett.
Here.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilmember DeCoursey.
Here.
Councilmember Holman.
Here.
Councilmember Pelosa.
Here.
Councilmember Trout-Manuel.
Here.
Councilmember Wells.
Here.
All right. We have a couple of special presentations and proclamations this evening, so I'm going to go over to the podium so we can get started. All right, so a few weeks ago, most of you probably know that the Special Olympics for the United States took place in Seattle and the surrounding area. And the opening ceremonies were up at the University of Washington at Husky Stadium. And we have some special guests with us tonight, Council, from the Olympics. We have some Special Olympians who won the gold medal in soccer. And I wanted to bring them in and also their coach. So we have, if you'll all come up well, why don't you all just come up? We have head coach Stu Snow, who is the coach at Green River College for the women's soccer team. And we also have assistant coach. You can just stand right in here.
Sneak out the door.
And no, you can't sneak out the door. And assistant coach Sharon Boyle. And we have, let's see, Coach, would you like to introduce all of your players that are here?
I don't really like them now.
You don't really like them that much? I think you probably do.
I'm not really great with last names, but let's start on this side. This is John. He's a forward, midfielder, defender. Just pretty much does whatever I ask him to do. So yeah, he even washes windows if you're interested. This is Laura. She plays forward. Willie is another one who will just play anywhere you ask. Of course, you already heard Sharon. This is Brad. Brad used to play for the Auburn Special Olympics and moved up to Federal Way a few years ago. And he's another one of the players that I can just pretty much slot anywhere on the field. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He doesn't stop. And then there's PJ, and PJ has a comment or muse for just about anything you could think of. And if he doesn't have that, he'll just start quoting any movie that you mentioned. So he's pretty entertaining. So there's a pretty good group, and I'm really proud to be representing them. So this is them.
So, athletes, we are very proud of you and the hard work and the dedication that you put in to your sport. And I'm sure most of you do more than just soccer, right?
Right.
You all do other things as well. But at this point in your lives, you became gold medal winning champions at the Special Olympics.
Yep.
How does that feel? Does that feel great?
Yes, it does. It does feel great.
Good. We are very, very proud of you here. And I think everybody out in the audience is pretty proud of you too. Audience, let's give them a round of applause. Council? And we have thank yous on behalf of the city. And it is a City of Auburn chocolate bar made here at Gosenko Chocolates. And also there is a City of Auburn Community Service Excellence coin that we don't give out often. So I just want you to know that you are getting these special coins.
Yeah, you're special.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
That to my
Welcome. That's the closest to purple
love
that I
chocolate.
have. Oh, I know.
Is that the chocolate?
Willie.
Yes, and you like blue, so there's your blue.
I don't like blue.
And green too.
Hey, blue is
green and
pretty.
gold.
Okay,
Right.
let's do the pen.
Blue is pretty.
And also for the coaches, we have little thank you bags
Thank you.
to say thank you for donating all of your time to such a wonderful event and such a wonderful effort. And at this point, Sharon, did you have anything you'd like to say?
I'm just very proud of not only
Why don't you
the
come up to the
athletes-
microphone
Oh,
so it can be heard?
I'm pretty loud. I am so very proud of this group. They worked very hard to get to where they are, and I am so very happy to have a wonderful coach like we have to direct them and get them where they needed to be. And also to thank you to the council and mayor for recognizing their efforts, and we appreciate that very much.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. We also have Jamie out in the audience. Jamie is this amazing Energizer Bunny, again, who does all things special population for the city of Auburn. And Jamie, why don't you come on up here too? I know you don't like to be in the limelight, but why don't you come up too? Yes. And then we also have Mary in the audience, who is also a Special Olympian, Mary and Lady. Congratulations to you too, Mary. Thank you. If you want to come up, you're more than welcome to as well, because I think it's wonderful that we have an opportunity to applaud our Special Olympians and the extra effort that they put forth and their dedication to their sports. Great job. And so, and if you would like to go forward, so why don't you follow me and you can shake hands with everyone on the council, all right? Come on this way. And just start right
I
here.
would be honored.
Okay, take it. It is good to see you.
All right, we have more fun this evening because we have Farmers Market Week proclamation, and I believe we have a few of our Farmers Market, Auburn International Farmers Market volunteers extraordinaire with us tonight. We have Anita Spear, Linda Morris, and Lynn Elliott. Why don't you all come on up? So we
It's actually Anita. That's not Lynn Elliott, it's Anita.
did I?
No, she said
She said Anita.
Oh,
Yeah.
she did, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She's good.
yeah, she's good.
Okay, never
Anita
mind.
Spear, Linda
Leave me
Morris,
alone.
and Lynn Elliott. That's right. I like the purple in your hair, though. That's,
sorry.
that's good. I
Thank
love
you.
that. All right. We do have the proclamation. Whereas the continued growth of the Auburn International Farmers Market is made possible in part through the generous support of King Conservation District grant funds that have been used towards the development of a viable market, and the temporary location at Lescove Park has increased access to fresh foods for the Auburn community. And whereas approximately 150 farmers markets across our state offer consumers farm fresh, affordable, convenient, and healthful products such as fruits, vegetables, cheeses, herbs, fish, flowers, baked goods, meat, and much, much more. And whereas farmers markets serve as an integral link among urban, suburban, and rural communities, affording farmers and consumers the opportunity to interact, shop, and access fresh, healthy foods. And whereas the popularity of farmers markets continues to increase as more and more consumers discover the joys of shopping for unique ingredients sold directly from the farm and buying products in their freshest possible state. And whereas if farmers market supports local anti-hunger initiatives through donations of unsold food and the food products to the Auburn food banks that feed needy individuals and families, and participate in WIC, Women, Infant, and Children, and the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Programs, EBT, or food stamps, and EBT matching program, Fresh Bucks, which raise awareness and use of farmers markets and improve the health of their clients through this participation. And whereas the United States Department of Agriculture strongly supports and promotes the development, operation, and expansion of farmers markets and other direct-to-consumer market activities for agricultural products, and now, therefore, I, Nancy Backus, Mayor of the City of Auburn, Washington, do hereby proclaim August 5th through the 11th, 2018, as Farmers Market Week, and encourage citizens to join me in recognizing the benefits of our local farmers markets by visiting the Auburn International Farmers Market every Sunday through September 30th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Lescove Park, dated the 6th day of August, 2018. Who would like the proclamation?
Lynn should take it.
Lynn, take the proclamation. And who would like to say a few words? Would any of you?
You want to say?
I'm very happy to be associated with the market. June 14th, 2009 was the opening day. And as I walked down I think it's 2nd Street toward the market, the flowers were in bloom, the tents were up, and it was one of the best feelings I've ever had, having participated a little bit in the planning of the market. And I've been a full-time volunteer ever since, and I like our new location. The vendors like it, the shoppers like it, and except for pushing carts across grass, the volunteers like it. Anyway, I appreciate this recognition of the market. The vendors are having a very good year, and we're happy about that. And so we'll continue to move on. I'd like to thank Bill Pelosa for his vision and his continual support. And when he comes down to the market, he says, "Thanks for volunteering," and that means a lot, Bill. Thank you.
Yes, thank you to Bill. Councilmember Pelosi was integral in making sure that this got through and has been a supporter. I remember talking to you, Bill, about a year before it ever began at a National League of Cities convention down in Florida, I believe, or somewhere nearby. But we sat and were talking about it with Sue Singer, talking about your belief in the farmers market. And so thank you for your continued support and your vision when it first came about.
If I could say one more thing.
Please.
One more thing. I'm very happy to be working with two wonderful market managers, Joanne McNabb and their current market manager, Amanda Valdez. They're very good and easy to work with and very thorough. It's a hard job, but they do a great job of it.
Thank you. And so if you three would like to go forward and receive the appreciation of council, okay. Thank you very much. All right, we have one appointment this evening, and that appointment is to the Planning Commission. City Council to confirm the appointment of Sunil Kanal to the Planning Commission for a term to expire December 31st, 2020. Do we have a motion? Councilmember Holman.
Yes, I move to confirm the appointment of Sunil Kanal to the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Councilmember Pelosi.
I'll gladly second it.
Thank you. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, Councilmember Pelosi.
Yes, John Holman and I both are members of Rotary, and Sunil is there as a Rotarian. So we have known him for a long time, and he's a very astute young man, and I know he's going to do a great job on the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Holman.
What Bill said.
All right. If there are no other comments, all those in favor of the appointment of Sunil Kanal to the Planning Commission for a term to expire December 31st, 2020, please say aye. 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 Those opposed, please say no. Passes. Sunil, thank you very much for your willingness to serve on this commission. I promise you that we are going to keep you very busy. The gentleman next to you, Jeff Tate, will definitely keep you busy. So thank you very much for your willingness to volunteer. All right, Sean, do we have any agenda modifications? All right, we will move to citizen input, public hearings, and correspondence. We have no public hearings this evening, so we will move to audience participation. This is the place on the agenda where the public is invited to speak to the City Council on any issue. Those wishing to speak are reminded to sign in on the form provided, and please keep comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to speak this evening? Anyone like to speak?
Yes, my name is Bob Zimmerman. I'm from 33029 46th Place South. I sent you guys quite a bit of information since the last meeting about propane puddling on the ground and being trapped because it's heavier than air. I'm sorry I didn't bring that up before, but I didn't really recall that, the fact that it was heavier than air back when I started talking to the fire department and questioning that tank. Matter of fact, when I went up and warned the guys at Station 6 up there that respond in our area, the young man that I was talking to started Googling, and pretty soon he says, propane's heavier than air. You're right. Yes. So I guess my question is, with all the information I've uncovered, it's taken a long time to get it because those codes are proprietary. And they want to sell those code books for $100 pop, and the gas code is not available in the library like a lot of the other codes are, and they don't pop up very often. Well, about a month ago, one of them did pop up, and I was able to read it, and then a couple days later, a newer version popped up, 3 years newer. And that's where when I started to find out that all this stuff that Valley said they needed an ordinance to do away with this gas pool on the other side of the wall there, said, well, they need an ordinance to enforce. And I, for the life of me, after reading that code and all that information I sent you, I can't for the life of me understand why they don't just take care of it. But anyway, I sent a email, and I sent you all a copy to Valley Regional this morning and asked them for a clarification of just specifically what more do you need than what that National Fire Protection Association information says. Hopefully we will get an answer back, and 3 of you are on the board, right? And you can certainly nudge that process along if it's necessary, I hope. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hi. I'm Carla Hopkins. I'm representing the King County Library System. I'm the regional manager for the South region, which includes Auburn, Algona Pacific, and Muckleshoot. And I believe that you have a piece of paper in your hands. I thought it might be beneficial for the city to know that the library does read your minutes and we do read your budget, and we thought it might be beneficial to you to see that we do try to align our services and our programs to the priorities of the council. The one I called out this evening is your hope to celebrate Auburn's diverse cultures, religions, and viewpoints by increasing community awareness and information, enhancing existing partnerships, and creating new partnerships. In 2011, when we reopened the new remodeled Auburn Library, and I joined this region, the management team and I sat down and looked across the county and across the state for examples of things that we might be able to duplicate in a smaller setting. And one of the things that we really enjoyed going to and seeing how it operated was the South King Council of Human Services. We were there on as part of that, those beginning years, and sitting down and listening to all of the people interacting, all the agencies bringing together their information and sharing best practices. And we thought that Auburn, because you already had a community that worked together and had that those partnerships in place, if we could just present a neutral area where people could meet and share information. It's not to get anything done, it's just to hear from the other agencies and the people in the room what's going on in various parts of Auburn, Algona Pacific, and Muckleshoot. Sometimes we cross the border into Kent with people from public services and other areas that come down and talk. It's been going strong, and they meet the first Friday of every month at the library. I invite you or anyone else from the city. We've actually seen people from the city departments at the meetings, just to listen to and hear what the other agencies are doing and to share information or be the voice in the room for your agency. So I just wanted to share that information for you. You will see someone from the library probably every month trying to bring information to you, and some of it won't be dry like this. We'll talk about summer reading program and other types of things that are happening.
Great. Thank you. And the summer reading program at the Auburn Library is great fun for everyone involved. All right, is there anyone else that would like to speak? Seeing none, we will move on to Council Ad Hoc Committee reports. Council Ad Hoc Committee chairs may report on the status of their ad hoc council committee's progress on assigned tasks and may give their recommendations to the City Council, if any. And we will start with Finance Committee. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Committee met, reviewed claim vouchers, 320 of them from the report dated 8/1/2018, for a total amount of $2,071,000. All claims were reviewed and were reasonable and in good order. Payroll vouchers from 7/12/2018 to 8/1/2018 were also reviewed. There were 16 checks, 584 direct deposits, and 7 associated electronic fund transfers for tax, retirement, etc., totaling $2,596,000. The Finance Committee recommends approval, but I would like to thank John Holman for his help on preparing the report.
Great.
Committee.
Thank you. All right. And we also have the Roads Committee, Councilmember DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. We will actually be meeting tomorrow. We haven't met in a while, so our next meeting is scheduled for tomorrow at 11 a.m. here at City Hall.
All right, thank you. All right, we will move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered by the City Council to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Do we have a motion? Deputy Mayor Baggett.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember DeCoursey.
I'll second the motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Baggett.
Thank you. We have 5 items here on the consent agenda tonight. We have the minutes for the July 16th, 2018 City Council meeting. We have the minutes for April 30th, 2018, May 14th, 2018, June 11th, 2018, and July 23rd, 2018 City Council study session. The claims vouchers and payroll vouchers that Councilmember Brown just mentioned. We have also a Public Works contract number 1818, which is recommending that the City Council award a contract number 1818 to McKinstry in the amount of $184,651.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Councilmember Pelosa.
Thank you, Mayor. Will this 18-18 take care of the cold air in the council chambers?
Well, that's part of the goal of this, yes, is to ensure that the temperature in the council chambers is appropriate at all times of the year. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, we have no unfinished business. We have no new business. We will move to resolutions. Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 5379, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Auburn, Washington, authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute a grant agreement with King County, Washington for funds from the Veterans, Seniors, and Human Services Levy and to appropriate and expend the grant funds.
Thank you. Do we have a motion? Councilmember Brown.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to move adoption of resolution number 5379.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Councilmember Pelosa.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you again, Mayor. The City of Auburn Parks, Arts and Recreation successfully applied for this grant from King County Veterans, Seniors, and Human Services Levy in November of last year. Funds were requested to make various programmatic and physical improvements to the Auburn Senior Center, including a social service assistant, repairs to the kitchen floor, and addition of looped hearing system for the hearing impaired. And I would like to also add that this levy is an important source of revenue that the city should not ignore, and I'm glad they're not.
Right. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Councilmember Pelosa.
I would just like to say that the Parks Department did a great job of laying out the request for proposal to the King County, and it was very enlightening to me, the different programs that are being accomplished at the Senior Center. I have heard from a lot of people about the great work that the department does for the seniors in our area, and so it's the $118,000 will go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Councilmember Wales.
Yes, Councilmember Brown, can you tell me a little bit more about the social services? Can you tell me a little bit more about the social service assistant?
Just that what we read in our packet, that there will be someone made available to help access the services that are needed, is my understanding.
That's correct. All right.
Okay.
Any other questions? Councilmember Trout
Yes,
Manuel?
I also, when I read that, I wanted to know, so could we have?
Your
a little bit-
microphone, please.
So could we have some more explanation on that, please?
Yeah, that pays for a position that's supplied by Valley Cities to supply counseling for some of the seniors that need human and social service programs or access to programs.
Okay. Is that,
Councilmember Trout Manuel?
I'm sorry, will that be a full-time or a part-time position?
No, it's part-time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Councilmember Wales?
This is going to be paid for with grant money. And so how are we going to fund it after the grant runs out? Or will the position go away?
Yeah, this is for, I believe it's a 2-year period, so there's not future funding after that. I'm assuming it would be through the same levy process, but it's not becoming a city position.
Great, thank you very much.
You bet.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of resolution number 5379, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Passes. All right. We will move on to mayor and council member reports. We had a short agenda this evening. At this time, the mayor and city council may report on significant items associated with their appointed positions on federal, state, regional, and local organizations. We will begin tonight with the deputy mayor.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the past 5 weeks, I've had the distinct pleasure of welcoming middle school students from the district of Hangzhou and the city of Yuhang, China. Yuhang is located between the cities of Shanghai and Hangzhou on the Yangtze River Delta of East China. They were all a great bunch of enthusiastic young people who were definitely enjoying their first trip to America and our fair city. I also attended the farmers market last Sunday, kind of in keeping with our farmers market theme here, and was honored to be one of the judges at the Dog Days of Summer dog contest. I found my niche. We had quite a variety of breeds, and it was a tough time deciding the winners of the many categories. But we did succeed, and I want to thank all of the people who participated. I believe we had 13 different entries. And also, Costco was very generous and provided the doggy gift baskets that were awarded to each category. Just a reminder that don't forget National Night Out is tomorrow night, and many of your city elected officials, department directors, and staff will be visiting many of the community's events. Should be a lot of fun for everyone, so join in if you can. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Pelosa.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended a meeting of the Water Resource Inventory Area, number 9, which I am an officer at one of the forums. And one of the things that we're really looking into is the orca situation and how we need to open up more fish habitat on, like, such as the Green River, all the way up beyond Howard Hanson Dam. 10 years ago, there was a move afoot to put in a fish ladder adjoining the Howard Hanson Dam. The funding was taken away by the state for other projects. So what happens now is the fish are just, they're massacred in the big valves that comes out of behind the Howard Hanson Dam and spills into the Green River. So many of them never reach their spawning area above, and then they're killed coming through the dam waterways. So there's a huge research program that's going on now by the Raya 9 and other environmental entities to see how we can enrich the Green River watershed ecosystem. So, you know, it's a continuing battle, and the orca are not getting the coho fish, salmon, that they love to eat. So, and then we've got the seal population. That's another aspect, another problem. So, anyway, continue the work. Thank you.
Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I don't have a report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Wales.
You know, one of our major jobs is to represent the citizens of our community, and recently I've been contacted by a number of individuals regarding some construction project problems with our garage on the north side of City Hall, and wondered if Shelley was aware of any billing or issues related to that parking garage construction, and was wondering how we could get some more information.
So Shelley is not here for this portion. She has already left. We can see what we are able to provide.
I thank you very much, and I do have a records request asking for that information, but thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember Holman.
No report.
Councilmember Brown.
Just a short report, Mayor. Thank you very much. Last Wednesday, the 1st of August, I was able to attend a ribbon cutting for a ballot box, drop box on Auburn Park and Ride on 15th Street Northwest. And I use that merely as a vehicle to remind us all that tomorrow is primary election day, and it's very important. Democracy is something that will die if we don't exercise it. So just want to remind anyone who's watching the Auburn Channel, anyone else that hasn't dropped their ballot yet, time to do it. One more day. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. Some of my committees are on a summer hiatus, so I haven't had a chance to make any reports, but we'll be doing that next meeting and next month. I did want to say, however, last Tuesday, along with Deputy Mayor Baggett, Mayor Backus, Chief Pearson, a number of our fine officers from Auburn PD and the Valley Regional Fire Authority attended the memorial service and celebration of life for Officer Diego Moreno, who died in the line of duty, serving his community in Kent. It was a very long and moving ceremony. It was very well presented. It was a pleasure and an honor to be there. And it was just wonderful hearing statements made by friends, family, and especially by his mother, much of which Mayor Backus updated us on in her weekly report last Friday. I do want to say, when we see our officers from Auburn participating in events like this, the pride just bubbles out. It's just the uniforms that they wear are magnificent. The way they carry themselves, the professionalism, all the officers, but it's just a real testimony to the quality of officers we have in the city of Auburn and what they do on a daily basis. And although Officer Moreno's life was cut very short and he was celebrated for his accomplishments in his short time on this earth, every day we need to remember and thank those in uniform who serve our communities. I don't think we do that enough. We shouldn't do it at their memorials only. We should be doing it every day for them, putting on that uniform and taking their lives in their hands and not knowing whether or not at the end of their shift they're going to be coming back home to their loved ones. So keep that in mind every time we see someone who's wearing a uniform and serving us in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember DeCoursey. That is very well said, and I do want to say thank you to the Deputy Mayor and to you for attending. There were several electeds there from throughout the county, and just a note that Officer Moreno lived in Auburn, and his family lives in Auburn up in Lakeland, and they have received a tremendous outpouring of support. And now that the celebration of life is over, we can't let that fade away. That family is going to need support for quite a while, And we, as the Auburn community, will be there to assist any way that we can. And I know that police officers have all stepped up. Our officers, during that time that right immediately following the tragic end of Officer Moreno's life, through the day of the memorial service, our officers and other staff members have been in Kent helping so those officers and city employees could have an opportunity to grieve and to also work on that celebration of life. And even the day of the event, I did mention in the update that many of our officers, our honor guard and our motorcycle officers played a special role, but also for other officers, commanders who were part of that day, the logistics, as you can imagine, to have a ceremony of that type and size. It takes a tremendous amount of collaboration, and I am very proud of our entire city team that has stepped up to help with that. And so I won't give you any more updates tonight on my calendar. I think it's best that we leave it with that. And Mr. City Attorney, do we have any need for an executive or closed session? In that case, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Pretty close to our